What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm Justin here with Meelz. What's up, Meelz?
It is a somewhat nice, maybe fall, maybe spring is actually showing up. We're in the 40s now, so I'm very happy about that.
We are in
Um,
the 80s, so
well, all right. Well, winter was a hop, skip, jump.
hell has arrived, and
Oh
it's
Lord,
doing hell. It's doing hell on my sinuses and allergies. So
that's unfortunate.
yeah,
That's unfortunate. Thankfully, I've never had like bad allergies. I had it for like one day where I went outside and I just couldn't open my eyes. But other than that, yeah, it just
I'm
is what it
allergic.
is. But
I'm allergic to the IWC, to the Internet Wrestling Community.
ooh, okay. Listen, I
Yeah,
don't blame you. It's been a week. It's always around this time. I mean, it's really all year round, but
yeah, pretty
but
much, pretty much.
more specifically, like this time of the year is when it gets really really bad.
Yep. I mean, it I believe, Quan had said on our Discord the other day, he was like, "I've never seen it this negative," right? And I was like, "Let me go look," because, like, I my you should see my FYP, it's literally just, like, so curated to just, like, leftist, socialist stuff now that I don't
Yeah,
see it. I really don't see anything unless somebody, like, pushes it towards me.
sure.
Um, so I went and took a look, and then it fucked up my algorithm again, so thanks. But
Well, listen, I mean, Twitter's algorithms. I don't even know what I'm on. It's just like friends, wrestling thing. Sometimes I'll comment on a wrestling thing and I'll be like, fuck. Now all I see is wrestling, which is
yeah,
terrible.
that's pretty much what it was. So I looked at it and, like, some of these arguments seem so, like like, limp and devoid of any type of sense, like, especially if you've been watching this, like, stuff for a really long time, right? Like, it ends up just being like, "Well, what's the complaint about this?" Like, a lot of it to me seems like engagement farming, not really, negativity, or, like, even if it was negativity, it's framed in a way where it's designed to get people to react or be enraged or, like, ratio you, as they say. And,
Yes, of
like,
course.
it's different from, like, and be clear, like, the discourse and, and pretty much, like, the wrestling community, whatever, it's never been great, like, it's never been good ever. It's just been considerably more, like, corny now, right? And so, like, I look at it and I'm like, this just seems like these people are, like, fucking bitching and belly aching about absolutely fucking nothing at this point. Like, is it like, it could literally be anything, Mills, that they're upset about, and they're, like, going at it. You know what I mean? Like, I think the biggest argument right now is, like, there was a report that came out about, like, some women, unnamed, by the way, and I think that that's, like, the biggest thing too, is, like, going off these narratives from, like, reports and stuff like that, like, "Oh, well, we want more," and then it's like fucking hashtag where it's like, "WWE women deserve better. We're gonna make this hashtag trend during Smackdown," and he got, like, 500 tweets, and it's like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Like, I think the general consensus is that, like, the normal kinda, like, I guess, casual fan of this stuff, like, doesn't really care about this shit, like, at all.
right.
So, like, you have all these people, like, making this stand about, like, things that, like, are said in confidence to a journalist and j quotes here, journalist, and then it comes out and it's like, that's just more chum for the sharks, and I feel like, honestly, it happens in between these shows. So, like, people are watching Raw and SmackDown and NXT and AEW with the express intent to hate it and not really, like, enjoy any of this shit at all, just to get off takes. And it's gotten worse now that you are rewarded on social media for this stuff. You used to not be rewarded for this. Like, you used to not really get much of a reward other than negativity from this. Now when people get money for it, it becomes their pretty much their, like, whole kind of character. The thoughts, thoughts has become the downfall of this whole thing. And I'm sorry we're doing this like 5 minutes into the show, but, like, I am very, very, like, disappointed at how people are falling for this shit every day.
I think, well, one, it's Twitter. And I think that this is not local to just the wrestling community. It kind of like extends all over. However, I think what I've always prescribed with the wrestling community and why they kind of react like this is that the IWC is someone that is a community that kind of like thrives on being able to predict something that will happen or something
Or
comfortable
thinking they can.
or thinking that they can, right? And when something shifts out of the norm for them that does not necessarily align with their line of thinking, for instance, right? Like they look at a star, like let's say, um, who's someone that they're who's being criticized a lot now.
Who
y-
isn't?
uh,
I mean,
I mean, to be well, all right. For instance, let's take Bianca Belair, even though Bianca Belair is not a thing. A couple months ago, people were like, "Yo, this tag team thing is over," because they felt like Jade wasn't holding up her end of the part, and blah blah blah, and all this other stuff, and et cetera, et cetera. And they were pushing for her to be back in a kind of singles role. Um, it was I'm trying. They wanted that because they felt like that was the most they were so comfortable with that for Bianca. They didn't like her in this kind of like state where she was like seemingly kept a little bit off TV, not really being in the main picture, not really kind of doing these things. I'm just giving this kind of example. However, this honestly, I mean, you look at the match that happened last night and kind of like everything that built to it. This kind of really opens up a new dimension for Bianca Belair. And it to be honest with you, the program that she had and the tag team run that she's had is something that, believe it or not, a lot of women can't do.
yeah.
Becky can't do. I mean, Becky probably could do it, but who would want Becky to be in the tag team scene for just as long as she did? Charlotte apparently cannot do it. Like Charlotte's tag team run with Asuka lasted a total of like what 67 days. This kind of shows the versatility of Bianca Belair, but then it also puts her in a position where it cools her off rightfully. So then when she does return back to the position, it kind of feels fresh again. Whereas now where you get people complaining about Becky Hogan and Charlotte and doing all these other
The
things because they
Becky
aren't
shit
really
the Becky shit's always been crazy to me because, like, who in the company has worked with the sheer amount of women that she has? And it's like, not even like some of the people's faves, so to speak, have worked with the amount of women that Becky has. You know what I'm saying? Like Becky's worked with everybody. Like fucking Xia Li. like
right,
like worked with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the craziest. That's always been the craziest load of horse shit that I've ever seen. Is that Becky is like holding people down. But you know, whatever.
right. Um, it's a I don't know. The IWC, especially around this time of the year when things are WrestleMania plans, people talking about WrestleMania, and it's more so, it's less of conversation about what they think should happen and more conversation of like who deserves rightfully to be here. It's a little bit of entitlement as well as with their own star. We say like they deserve to be on this card. Who's going to be on this card? Who's Rhea going to be facing? Oh, we're getting Charlotte and Tiffany, but how is Bianca, Jade, Naomi, Chelsea? Da da da. Um, is gonna work out. So it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, you know, well, and I guess we go into the WrestleMania talk, and it's just like I've seen people say, "Oh, this seems like this is the worst build ever," and da da da. And I'm just like, bro, do y'all remember how fucking concerned we were for last year? Like last year, me and you were legit concerned about last year, even with the tag match being announced and all this stuff. Like we're still trying to figure out, like, oh, is this Cody Roman thing actually gonna happen? Like it was legitimately that to me is like some of the most insane kind of like revisionist history ever. We're always worried before a mania because it always comes together in the last 4 to 5 weeks. That just seems to be the thing. It's like I don't know what the long tail built booking has to be here when they have to fill every single week, 52 weeks of TV every single week. Like a lot of this stuff is planned, but it doesn't come together because they don't want it to come together between that time. And these people know this. That's not even like making excuses for it. It's like these people know this, but
Yeah.
they're reacting in that way because they want to get a reaction out of someone. They want to get a reaction out of people to be like, yeah, this is
Yeah,
bullshit. It's like, no,
essentially,
like
yeah.
this is not. This is exactly how all of this happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I've been seeing people say, oh well, WWE's losing steam because of the booking decision of Triple H. I'm like, I don't see that by any metric from any of the shows I've been to in the last 3 months. From any of the things that I've been seeing from these crowds, they're still selling out. I'm like, where is the slip happening at right now? This seems to be like the big narrative right now, Meelz, is that like AEW's gaining ground and WWE's losing ground. And I'm just like, what?
Well,
That's a
narrative
lot of
for
ground.
who? Narrative for who though? Like
Yeah, true,
it's the
true.
narrative. It's the narrative for those who prefer AEW and look at the chance to be able to criticize WWE for any of their like kind of like um, slips. And to be honest with you, I'm I think there's been a major slip this week with WWE, and it's something that we'll talk about, I guess, in a long form thing. Like
Yeah.
this is all right. We going bell to bell with wrestling today. Like if you were here for banter, this won't be the week. But um, for me, WrestleMania, especially this, I mean, we got so many others. Maybe we can get to it after we talk about the big elephant in the room, the big eyebrow elephant in the room.
Yeah.
But WrestleMania to me was compromised the moment where I went on Twitter and saw the announcement that The Rock will be on SmackDown this week. And immediately, to me, The Rock is coming off of less of someone who wants to be organically integrated into the WWE ecosystem and cycle, and more of this like albatross that kind of like shows up and immediately changes everything on a whim. And with the current with kind of like how all the stories are going on, all the stories a little bit nuanced now. There's been a lot of shift in this WrestleMania card this year, believe it or not. Like I mean, we've seen it now with this with the solo thing. We've seen it now with this the Drew thing has kind of like seemingly shifted. I'm not sure if it's fully shifted, but honestly don't know what the hell Drew's doing, and so many different things. But The Rock is the main culprit, and kind of like how all of this went on. What were your kind of thoughts when you saw that The Rock was returning this week?
Oh Lord. I think that's everyone's thoughts. Like, oh fucking, oh my Lord, oh Jesus. You know what I mean? Like the Rock thing. Here's the thing, though. I'll say this too. The Rock criticism to me, Meals, is a legitimate criticism of that moment and of that thing. However, I've seen people that were cheering The Rock coming back and ruining things for Seth or Punk. I'm like, I don't understand the thought process of like why y'all would think it was cool for The Rock to come in and like fuck things up for Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Like, do you understand that? Like, Mills, like, what, like I don't understand why people think that's okay and cool to do. Am I wilding?
No, you're not. But I think it's generally it's people who have. I mean, there's so many biases. This is a weird, very meta conversation we're having this week. But there's so many biases with kind of like the internet, and maybe this is a state of the address on kind of like the internet wrestling community itself. There's so
Mm.
many biases with kind of everything that happens nowadays that people are kind of like looking for any instance that for people to kind of be like usurped. People who are looking like Punk shouldn't be in this role or excited for this thing, or maybe people are looking who's like Cody needs to be taken down a notch, should be this thing. My criticize criticization, I don't know,
Criticism.
critical criticism. There we go. I got a lot of things going on today. Um, my criticism of the Rocks thing. Here's the thing: we know where the fuck this is going. We're not idiots.
Yeah.
And for those who are like critiquing my tweet online, it's like they're like, you know where this is going, so I don't know where you're complaining. I'm like, I'm fully aware of this where this is going. It's just The Rock is such a bad vessel to get across any point. He's just a bad cataclysm to ingratiate any of this thing. Like
Yeah.
it's just
He's
bad overall.
he's the bad message. He's the worst messenger to do this. He's the worst messenger to do this. And like when we say like valid criticism, we're like, I think you'll agree. Like our criticism is how this message is being presented and relate to the people, right? the idea that Rock has to come in and save this show every year is a misnomer because the company's doing fine. They're doing great. You know what I'm saying? It only furthers to that point this idea that something's going on or something's wrong or something or Netflix is lying. You know what I'm saying? Like because at the end of the day, Netflix don't got no problem dropping anything or dropping anyone at the drop of a fucking hat. You know what I'm saying? So like if they're doing bad, it will come out in the months to show, but y'all don't get to pick when that is. You don't get to prognosticate it before it happens because you don't know what metrics they think is successful or good. You know what I'm saying? Like for a streamer to be doing live streaming of sports of any kind or anything for the first time, you don't know what the metrics are that are good. You know what I'm saying? Like they are probably getting more than what more than what they expected of their money's worth from what's going on right now, regardless of what people are saying. And in contrast to the Rock stuff, you have people literally I just saw a tweet today. I feel like Quan is the one who keeps sending these in because it's the only time I'm seeing shit like this. But he's sending it in
I
about the
mean,
Lyra.
he has a full wrestling account. Like
Yeah, he
he's
sees it
gonna
all the
see it.
time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so like someone mad about Lyra Valkyria beating Dakota Kai and them saying this seems like a bad idea. What a weird idea. I'm like, how's it weird? She's supposed to win matches. When is what
Yeah,
wait,
it's
what?
literally
What?
like I think her second,
It
first
was her
title
first
defense.
it's their first defense. I believe it was
Wait,
her first defense.
she beat Ivy now? Did she beat Ivy now?
They didn't they not wrestle? They haven't wrestled yet. They haven't wrestled yet.
You should, all right.
It was just the Rumble and then they had the number one contenders match between Ivy and
Oh
Dakota.
yeah, 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 yeah. Ivy
They
and
never
Dakota.
wrestled.
Okay.
She threw her on the Royal Rumble. We had figured that the match was gonna happen
Yeah.
within the next couple weeks, but they did the Dakota match after that, which
I mean,
is
it's actually pretty good booking, and when you want to keep a lot of people fresh in the division, actually.
yes, when you wanna keep people away from each other and keep a matchup fresh, you do that again. It makes the total thank you. We've been watching this for 20 years, and people were saying, like he said well, one of the account said, like, "People love, Dakota." Who who gives a shit? Like, at the end of the day, people love a lot of people in the company. People fucking love R-Truth. He loses all the time. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, it's about making a title worth something and making it mean something by having finishes that are clean and having the champion beat people in a convincing fashion after a hard earned match. There are so many people that are using the most innocuous, innocent things as a negative for things, and honestly feel like I'm watching a different show sometimes. And we felt this. We can even go back to Jimmy or Jay Uso winning the Rumble, and me and you being like, we're shocked, but we get it and moving on. People can't move on. They're so histrionic about certain shit like this. Like I'm seeing people mad about, and I know this is we're getting hella meta and we're going ahead. People getting like using Bianca and Naomi losing on the final week of uh Black History Month as like a thing today. I saw as well. And it's like, so we're not allowed to lose a fake on a fake show
Yeah.
all February, but we're allowed to lose as a people every single week in real life.
Yeah.
So like make that make sense. As we're as down bad as we've ever been in terms of rights and justice in this country, but you're using this as a metaphor for everything. These are characters on a TV show, by the way. You're using this
It's
as
yeah. This is we've reached a place where everything is coming becoming where people aren't using legitimate logic, and it's their can't even say unconscious bias, their full conscious bias in terms of determining whether or not they enjoy the program that they do. Instead of looking at it all as like kind of characters. Now, you can be critical of the things. You can say like, I don't really like how this character is being portrayed, or I don't like how this character is being thing. But to criticize the entire booking situation off of like something like Black History Month, and no offense, WWE hasn't acknowledged Black History Month the entire month. And I don't think they ever will. And to me, that is more concerning to me, um, than the wins and losses, and women deserve the WWE women deserve better, even though they're getting like amazing main events, a grazing, great title shots. Two of the biggest stars in the company, and Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, are two of the biggest stars in the company right now on an active weekly basis. Like to me, that the that stuff is but that's separate from what's on the show, right? I'm
Yeah.
able to kind of like separate that from what's on the show. The corporate side of this, where essentially these companies are stepping away from like celebrating all this stuff. And someone hit me in the comments was like, they actually hadn't celebrated Pride last year and celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month last year. They had it ever since they essentially merged with this TKO Endeavor group. They haven't really acknowledged any of that kind of like in a social or on-screen capacity, which is kind of interesting. Um, but on the story side of things, like these are characters and they're just telling a story. I think if you get too caught up in the weeds of it, you end up not being able to enjoy the moments that you had. You're not able to enjoy like an 18-minute sprint between Naomi Bianca versus Liv and Raquel, which was an amazing match. Like stronger than it had any right, stronger than it probably could have been, or stronger than any probably women's tag team title match that we've ever seen. And the crowning of a new champion, which is a very prominent thing, especially for Liv, who's having probably the best year of her career. She's clearly a star.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like, Bianca don't lose a lot, but when Bianca does lose,
The
it's to
first
someone who's a star.
the first thing that is being said is, "On the last week of Black History Month, my brother." What? What? Shut the hell. They're trying to take SNAP benefits away. Are y'all
Yeah,
are y'all like, shut the fuck up, bro.
yeah.
Shut the fuck up, man.
It's you'll separate those things in terms of like the characters of this and all of this other stuff. But
The conversation has transformed. And again, I'm not saying don't speak out when there's actual injustices being portrayed on screen or things like this. This is a storyline result. Like
sure.
people losing a match is a storyline result. No one's going out there fucking wilding, right now to a point where we
Hmm.
gotta, we gotta stand on something, socially and politically right now within the company. And to your point, Mills, they're staying as far not like on screen, they're not standing on anything. Off screen, your mileage may vary on what certain things mean that they're doing. I know people want
Right.
to talk about, Steph and Triple H showing up to the confirmation hearings and shit like that. Like that, yeah. Speak on that. Do you, if you think that has anything to do right now with what's going on, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. Like let me find out. Let me find out. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think that there's so much bad faith on both sides, and it's very tiring. It's very tiring. But that's kind of like my allergy, my allergy, fueled
Yeah.
anger for this week. I want to open a pack.
Well, oh, okay. I was gonna continue talking about The Rock, but we can
Oh yeah,
definitely open a
well,
pack.
I mean, let's get to the Rock right before we start talking about Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
I think that
All
would
right.
make a lot of sense to do. I'm gonna open a Palkia pack today. So
Okay. I'm gonna open the opposite of whatever you open.
keep in mind, if anyone's playing Pokemon Pocket, make sure you're holding on to your packs because Friday is supposed to be mini set day. So less than a
I
month
think it's
before.
Thursday. It's Thursday, right?
It's
That's
Thursday.
Pokemon Day. Yeah, I think Thursday is Pokemon Day.
Oh, I thought it was Friday. I don't know this shit.
Oh,
I'm looking for a bent
looking
corner.
for
Bend the corner.
Ben. I see a Ben enough.
I see a Ben right there. A Ben. Whoa! Watch this.
I'll start. I got Togetic, Oddish, Hitmontop, Tangela, Magneton, and that's it. Wow, what a piece of shit.
Yeah, I got all
Um,
gray. I got all grays too. I got a Chimchar, Oddish, Gabite, which I need a second one. So there we go. Staravia, and
yes, they're
Roserade.
up. Yes. You're good with these names, bro. You're surprisingly good with these names. I've been around many people who have just become adjusted to Pokemon things,
Yeah.
and the way they butcher names is crazy, but you're pretty
But
good at it. So
but
shout
be
out to you.
clear. Be clear. I played almost every Pokemon game ever released. You know this.
Yeah, but people don't know how to say it though. Like
Oh,
you're better at like being able to say it and get it right the first time than most people. Like I play Pokemon Go with people who are just like kind of casual fans, and I can't tell you how many Chainsai, you know what I'm saying, or Chansey, or like Gabbit, or whatever it is. Like it's definitely something. Pokemon isn't is its own language, and it uses kind of vowels and things in its own separate kind of way, to be real
Yeah,
with you.
yeah.
Um, so you're pretty good at it. But yeah, those are our opens. It's pretty I mean, I have another one, but I'll save it for later. It is what
I'm
it
gonna be
is.
real. I think that I'm not I'm about I have 135 out of 155 for Space Time SmackDown. I'm missing some very glaring cards that I should have, like Chimchar's full evolution. I still
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have. I do believe, and I'm sorry, like, call me a conspiracy theorist.
No, 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 they are.
The drop rates are terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
This
They
this
they pulled it
this set.
back.
The drop rates are absolute mud, and it seems like they want you to be paying for pack points and getting the cards that you need and hyper focusing on them. I have not been able to make this fucking my favorite one of my favorite Pokemon is Garchomp and Tyranitar. So those are my two faves. So like I have been trying to make a Garchomp deck this whole month, and I just now got this second the second Gabite. So
Listen, once the game comes out, I'm probably gonna ditch this fucking card game. I promise
well, I
you.
mean, there's gonna be a special episode of something that's being recorded, and I'll give my thoughts on
Yeah,
the card game as it is right now.
I agree. I agree. Let's see. What do we got this week? We can start where we started last week.
Yeah.
Last week we started at NXT. We got
Mhm.
a great appearance by one Ricky Starks.
Saints.
It well, it was Ricky Starks when we talked about it last week, which is why I say that. Um, Last week, I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago. That's where the thing came out. 2 weeks ago that we talked about Ricky Starks. Last week on NXT, we got the official contract signing. He's officially signed at NXT. So all his teeth the entire night, baby. You know what I'm saying? He got the entrance coming up from the car. He got, where his best fit is. He got it. He's as he's as happy as he could probably be in this moment right now. And I think they gave him a solid introduction to the character he is by putting him against a lot of the strong players at NXT almost immediately. Um,
His entrance or his debut gave me "Imma be here for a while"
really,
entrance. Yeah, it gave me "Imma be here for a while."
you don't think what's the you think 1 year, 18
2.
months,
He
two
gonna do the
years?
2 he gonna do the full 2, 3. He's gotta go heel here.
Oh, okay.
He's
I
gotta go
mean, I
heel
feel
here.
like it depends how I thought his especially with his promo and stuff like that, clearly one of the better promos in NXT already.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, for sure. Him and Ethan, they carried the promo ability, on that episode for sure.
and even Wes, Wes wasn't a slouch in his own right as well. And now we got this tag match. Is it this week?
It's this week, yes, it went from him and Ethan to, Ethan and, Wesley versus, Ricky Saints and Javon Evans.
The name is cool. I fuck with the name.
The name is very good. I saw a lot of people belly aching about the name, and I was like, "Well, it's a fresh start for this guy. Let's just be completely clear here. Then that's completely fine. I don't understand why people are locked into the Starks name as if that was like something that is needed. Like they're gonna play fast and loose with the definitions and the rules about the naming stuff. And I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like they wanted to go that way with Ricky in a way that they didn't want to do that with Ethan Page, and that's completely fine. You know what I'm
It
saying?
feels
Like
like a long-term investment, even with the
yeah.
name
And
itself.
and I think again, not everyone's gonna come in with the same name. Lexus King had his name changed as well. They're gonna play different rules with different people depending on where they wanna go. This was another ridiculous engagement farming argument that I saw last week. It was Ricky Stark's name or Ricky Saint's name.
I think overall, I want to see how he looks in the ring with everybody. Because it's been a while since we see him in the ring. It's been a while since we seen him in this kind of like character just in general. Um, like being a major player, part of something, kind of doing stuff. So I want to see how he looks in the ring next to all these people. Because to be honest with you, um, Ricky Starks not a large person,
Well,
but has a
this is
large.
pre NXT workout regimen. So,
Right.
niggas change, their bodies
But
change.
he has a large personality, and if
Yeah.
he's able, so it feels like he's probably gonna be better off as a heel than a face, but the people are fully supporting him right now. They got some good stuff going on in NXT for him. Um, look forward to see where this goes. It's probably the best time in his career to be able to jump over to the brand. Um, he did a interview on Busted Open with Bully Ray almost immediately after. Um, no scorching hot all elite tea, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. He kept it quite respectful, actually. Um, I'm thinking he's holding on to it. Uh, maybe for a bigger stage, bigger publication, bigger something. Um, but he seems very, very excited. He talked about why the name changed. He talked about kind of like how everything going over here, and he talked about his goal is to wrestle in the Superdome, and which they're unironically it was announced this week, which we get to by The Rock. The WrestleMania was it 43, 42,
42.
42
Mhm.
will be emanating live from the Superdome in New Orleans. Um, I don't know if he'll make it there in time, but you know what? NXT Stand and Deliver
It's
New
gonna be
Orleans.
there. He's not I He's gonna be there a while. He's gonna be there a while. I think he's gonna be there a while. I said this weeks ago. I was like,
If this is the build for him in NXT, Stand and Deliver in New Orleans is the way you sell tickets to that fucking show.
yes, because again, they needed that spark for the men's division, and he is that spark for the men's division, and whatever else they got coming down the pipeline, he's gonna be definitely a part of that. Because I don't think Ethan is very long for this brand. Um, and that's why it's a nice little passing of the baton, so to speak, of those people, and especially like with TNA being more involved, like it just makes more sense.
I was
Um,
gonna ask you that. We also got an appearance from Moose.
my pal Moose,
Oh my
we
god.
argue in the DMs all the time.
Really?
You've seen it, I've showed you. We
Yeah,
argue in the
yeah,
DMs
I've
all the
seen
time.
it. I mean, it's really stupid stuff that you. It's things that I don't think I won't even say it. I was not it's Moose versus the Oba. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it is what it is. It's
I mean, Obo wanted it. He said it right here.
Yeah, he
Live and
said it
direct.
on the Nate show. Yeah, he definitely did. So you got it. I don't know if anyone's asking for Tessa, but keep it to yourselves if you are. Um,
Well, Cora is facing Tessa on TNA television, so
all right, well, keep it over there.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't I have a feeling like I don't think it would come I don't think it would be a good idea if they decided to do it. So I'm hoping they use all um
Nigga, they're gonna bring back Ash by Elegance before Tessa Blanchard, and I'm gonna be like, man, I'm gonna have to make some tough decisions here.
I might even be more mad they bring well, I don't know. I'll be more mad if they bring Ash by Elegance. Um
Ass by Elegance.
fucking shout out to
I didn't
Math
even
from
I didn't even try.
shout out to Math from Black Wrestling who calls her She by Sheree. Um
Oh wow.
that's a deep cut. Um or at least not one for the show. But no, listen, NXT, they're doing some exciting things in the build up to Stand and Deliver. We got about 2 months left, under a little bit under 2 months. Looking forward to see what they do there.
It's seeming like Trick versus Eddie in an underground match, probably at the MSG small theater. It looks like what they're
Yeah,
building to.
yeah, the Hulu theater, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Trick person. I don't know if I don't really like any. I don't like a fucking underground to be honest with you. Like, yeah, especially a Trick. Like, you have to start throwing like underground was.
Trick problem isn't that he needs to do things that simulate real fights.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I I think Trick's problem is that he can't even emulate the fake ones right. So why would we
Yeah,
put him in the real one?
nigga came up on screen looking like a nigga from Street Fighter, and I was like, "What you doing, bro? You crashing out? Like,
I was like,
what's going on?
at the very
Keep it
least,
Trick."
Eddie Thorpe has like the propensity to actually do the pro wrestling thing well, and the
Yeah,
underground thing seemed weird for him to be doing. But like Trick in the underground match, I don't know. I guess he's gonna trick shot him out the ring. I guess so. We'll see. I just think that's a
The
good way to end that feud, especially with, like like, I don't know. I feel
yeah,
like it's
but
a
the I
great way
mean,
to
this is their one of their signature matches. Um, the Hardy Boys will also be on NXT this week.
Hey, I see that Triple H is doing the Vince McMahon, the door is open.
The door is
The
open.
the door is always open,
Jeff Hardy he's been very, very vocal about like, yo, I know I fucked up, but
Yeah.
and it was like, yes, you did, nigga. And no, the answer is no. I would if there's a I would not welcome another Hardy Boys run on the main roster, not even another Jeff Hardy run. I think it's just the time as we've moved past the need for it. Now Jeff Hardy's still cool to an extent.
Yeah.
I say to an extent. Um so like he's gonna be on the show, he's gonna be on the show. But I don't think we need him in any official roster capacity on Raw and or SmackDown. Like stay where you at, retire. You'll probably get a Hall of Fame induction. They might do it tomorrow. Triple H pull up in the ring tomorrow, like, hey niggas, you thought this was a match, but we actually inducting you into the Hall of Fame, baby.
Yeah,
Um,
I again, I'm you know, NXT is exciting. It's exciting right
yeah,
now. It's
yeah,
exciting
yeah.
right now. I'll give them that. Uh, Good episode this week coming up. Make sure you check out all of that stuff, everything that goes down there this week on, the War Report. I wanna change the War Report name. I'm on my
What?
Kanye shit. I wanna change the name.
How you can do that?
Yeah, I wanna change the name. Here's my thing.
Oh, because you
Oh,
say the war is over.
the war is over. There ain't no war. People trying to
Is
make it
it?
seem
It's
like
still
a
a war.
war.
It's the war's never not real as long as they exist. You know what I'm saying? Like
The
the
war
war
is
isn't really over.
what war is
The
it
war's
anymore?
never really over. You
Or it's
see,
no, actually
you see,
with the way the ratings look, the war actually just started.
you see how Tony Khan telling them like, "Yo, we don't really announce," or not really Tony Khan, but like how it's been reported probably through Tony Khan that like, "Yo, we don't really announce where we gonna go because every time we announce where we gonna go, they show up."
Yeah, fuck nigga.
So,
Of course. Yeah, fuck nigga,
so
that's what
we
we gonna do.
gotta keep it on the hush so they don't show up because we don't want we got our stadium show in July and then in June we go see Money in the Bank at American Airlines Arena or
That's
wherever
why
the
I'm
fuck it
like
is.
what's the decline? Where's the decline? They coming to your trap and taking your trap, nigga. Shout out to Bankroll Fresh. They
Listen,
coming to your trap and taking over your trap.
listen, listen. It's true. Um, is there any other news from this week? Any other notable? Oh, this new Conrad report.
Yeah, this Conrad report, Conrad Thompson, said, this week on 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff that Vince McMahon uh, was on the verge or could be on the verge of launching a new wrestling company, but saying that the Vince potentially had a connection with Fox, and that would be where it would air. So he says this, and I quote: "There has been a lot of speculation, lots of rumor, and
Damn, that's why we ain't seen no Shockwave.
about Vince McMahon starting a company. Should I say the quiet part out loud? There's been tons of whispers. I don't know what's real and what's not, but allegedly Vince McMahon's people have made contact with people who have experienced shooting wrestling, maybe cameramen. And allegedly, I don't know if it's real or not, but the rumor mill, the whispers are perhaps Fox is holding a spot for Vince McMahon.
Nigga, Kevin
But even
Dunn.
but even Thompson admits that his initial reaction to the rumor was it doesn't sound real and it sounds like bullshit. Um,
We heard
you
he
know,
was gonna start an entertainment company. I don't know about wrestling again. I don't know if I would want to.
who
Why would
would
you?
he sign that would do that? It would be like some Heroes of Wrestling type shit where it'd be a bunch of retired niggas and like EC3 or some shit or fucking
Yeah, I
Snitsky.
don't know who'd be running real quickly to Vince McMahon's wrestling. I mean, I know who would. I mean,
Bobby
Taker would probably
Lashley.
be Taker,
Bobby Lashley.
Taker, Bobby. Who else, nigga? Who else been? Who's
I
Vince guys?
I honestly don't feel like Taker would because of the fact that the
He would, bro.
WWE I don't think the WWE directly funds a lot of the things that he does off out of the ring, including his Legends deal. And I think
There's,
that breaching that or I feel like him doing that would probably breach some type of connection that he has there with TKO and things like that. Like they want to be completely separate from that Meelz. I don't think that within that setting, Taker would fuck up his bag like that in that sense.
He gonna be like, "Yo, Vince McMahon made me a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. I'ma
He'll
roll with
show
the
love.
I'm rolling with Vinnie Mac."
He'll be in the crowd. I don't see him taking over from in any professional capacity. But also, I think that people like Taker do like. But then again, this is the dude that was like licking Donald Trump's nuts. But I'm just
Yeah.
editorializing here. I'm just editorializing here that I do think that there are certain things that WWE does that he appreciates being a part of, including bringing in, ushering in that new talent that Vince probably won't be doing with this company that Taker would be able to do with
I don't
WWE.
think it's gonna be a wrestling company. I don't think at his old ass age he should be starting any wrestling company.
I think he just needs
Um,
to be like dying. I think that would
yeah,
be a cool thing to do.
I think it would
Just
be pretty rad for
yeah, for
him
him
to
to
just start dying.
just preparing for
Um,
that to happen soon.
yeah, something like that.
That was the biggest news of the week, and I guess we can just go right into the Rock thing because that's gonna lead us right into Elimination Chamber. And I mean, honestly, a lot of speculation, a lot of conversation we could have around Elimination Chamber because at this point with Mania, we just don't know, and there's a lot that we just don't know. But hopefully, it will start being clearer during Elimination Chamber. But The Rock announced what was it, Friday, Thursday night, and then into Friday morning, I think. That the he formally announced that he was going to be on SmackDown, making an announcement and shaking things up. He posted a picture of the watch that Cody gave him, um, and during WrestleMania last year. He gave Rock, I guess he gave everybody Rolexes, right? Last year,
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
right, right,
Terramana, Rolexes,
right before, because I know
his
Roman wears.
his hair thing. You know, he has a shampoo or something.
Oh, I don't know. Ask Douglas what that shit was called. Koa, isn't it called Koa or some shit? But
Is it? Let me see. The Rock shampoo line. Papa Tui.
Papa Tui, there you go. So
This nigga whole balls with a fucking beard and all right, whatever, bro.
so
It's the Rock,
SmackDown
bro.
happens. Cody was there was this big again more hysteria. That's the word. The
But blame the
IWC,
Rock. This is
yeah, but no, there's also other people that like that report
oh
things that I feel like they should be more smart in reporting because when it ends up being wrong, they look stupid because the
yeah,
hysteria and they know that this community thrives off of hysteria and speculation. There were so many reports that came out that people's matches were getting cut and things were not happening, right?
yeah.
The only one thing that kind of like didn't happen, two things I'll say, was a storyline a segment which like again they could have changed that days ago and no one would have ever known when it was between Liv and Naomi, which actually led into what happens on Monday.
Yeah.
And then the Cody got taken out of the six man, which I will say was a legitimate change because now it seems like Cody is completely out of that bloodline
Solo
thing.
got hold out of a fucking
Yeah.
world title program. That's what
No,
happened with Solo.
I don't think he was getting a world title program.
Well, it could have been a little Cody Toronto.
I think Cody was getting his revenge on this six man, and I think Solo probably would have some bullshit would have
You
happened
don't
that
think
led to
nothing
Solo
would have
getting
happened
beat.
in Toronto where he got a
No,
title match in Toronto?
no, no, no.
I feel like he was about to get a title match in
He was
Toronto.
not
I could
about to
be
get a
wrong.
title match. I will tell you right now, he was not about to get a title match.
Okay.
I'll tell you this right now. He was not about to get a
Okay.
title match. It was leading to the six man. It was leading to him fucking up, and then Cody probably pinning him to basically say, "I'm not facing you again." Because what's going on right now is that they have an unresolved wrinkle
Mhm.
where Solo did something to Cody and Cody ain't really get to get his lick back yet. But now it don't matter because The Rock's like, nah, you over here now, nigga. This is your real storyline. And
Right.
again, I'm gonna start with the positives of this, okay?
Okay.
The positive of this is that you now posit Cody in the biggest storyline where he should be every year in around this time, right?
I agree.
A lot of people have been saying this run hasn't been as exciting as I thought. It hasn't given. It's not giving what it's supposed to give.
Well, here
I'm
it
gonna
is
be.
now, nigga.
I'm gonna be real with you. What reign the past 10 years has done that for anyone?
Well, to me, this reign, it's in comparison to the last one, which is Roman, where Roman was very much a big part of the show. And I think when you talk about positives, which I agree, which we talking about, um, this is a positive based on that fact for sure. That um, Cody will now become this reign for Cody now has a little bit more juice and underlying story under it, beneath it, holding it up. So if you thought he was just having mindless title defenses now it's part of a bigger thread that they're going to talk
And
about.
I didn't even think that they were mindless. I don't think you do either. Like
No, I
I
don't think so either.
I
But
thought that they
niggas is
'cause
niggas.
this the story was or has been for the past couple of months, past year, really,
Yeah.
he's gonna be a year in about a month, um, that the title is making Cody lose all of his friends. He has literally no one. He's about to snap. He's about to falter and fall from the pressure of having the title, which is what Roman warned him about 2 years ago.
Mhm.
That you don't know the pressure of having this title and Cody being naive and that being the story. I think that having that lead in to eventually I don't know if they meant for it to lead into what we saw on Friday, but it
Right.
was leading into something that we were me and you were probably guessing was gonna happen this WrestleMania anyway. So that was to me was the main positive of this of what's going on. But then we get to the segment, The Rock comes out, and I think
Talk about when he comes out though. You
comes
didn't
out
just come
to
out.
the block is hot.
What a weird this is how listen, can I tell you how much I didn't look forward to this at all? Like, I
Oh, I
just want to
know.
let you know just to kind of like set up this entire ordeal. I wasn't looking forward to this at all. It kind of really ruined SmackDown for me just entirely after the segment was over. But I wasn't looking forward to it at all. But when I hear the Black is Hot blaring from the speakers, I let out the loudest "Oh brother" in my life, bro.
In that itself, and I think he kinda confirmed it, he
We'll talk
kinda
about the press
confirmed it.
conference too. The press conference is also a lot of butt wagging and all types of.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was gonna get to, like, the confirmation he had there was that, to me, they want to write
But the Super
it's
Bowl,
yeah, it's a good honestly, most promotionally, it actually is a good idea to, in their eyes, right what the wrongs that the Super Bowl did for from what they did in NOLA this year because
did
you're
the Rock think that Lil Wayne should have headlined the Super Bowl instead of Kendrick? Should he have been part of that conversation
well, I
that
mean,
lived online for 4 weeks?
if you look at the conversation after the fucking Super Bowl performance happened, I would say that WWE is well within the right to actually take the ball and run with it there and
Listen,
spike it into the end zone, so to speak, because
I know Rock didn't like the Kendrick performance. He was like, "I don't know what this is. I don't know what
because
this shit
because
is."
because again, if the narrative is that it wasn't enjoyable and WWE looks at their product is like the NFL of it, and again, I don't think your Meltzer is in your Sean Ross Sapp, I don't think they understand the kind of the culture around what that was.
Sure.
Definitely didn't see
Meltzer
it
for
from
sure.
any
Meltzer for sure not. Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
like, I don't think they understood the culture behind it, but I think that again and I guess I could label this as a positive, like, because even when I watched the press conference first, then I watched this segment, but, like, I looked at this as them as him saying, "Oh, you know, they're gonna right the wrongs of this." Like, you how not surprised would you be if all of those aforementioned artists end up being at WrestleMania next year? I think it's gonna happen. I think it's pretty much a lock that it's gonna happen next year.
Lil
With
Wayne,
that,
Birdman, Turk, and BG at WrestleMania.
that'd be hard. I think it will happen. I mean, look at the Atlanta show, the Atlanta Raw.
Going up against American Alpha? Like what? Like
Like, bro, the fucking No Limit Soldiers are back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't put anything past them, especially with the fact that WWE does like to reach back into their nostalgia bag a little bit more in more sensical ways. Like
sure,
Lil Wayne having WWE merch is not out of the ordinary. Cash Money having WWE merch, not out of the ordinary. There being a large partnership, not out of the ordinary. It could definitely happen, especially with their connections to everything they have going on in the city. I looked at
mhm.
that as them saying, "Hey, you know, we're gonna take NFL's fuck up and we're gonna basically make gold out of it because we think that Lil Wayne should be able to do his thing at the stadium itself and you know do it that way. I think it's gonna happen. And I thought, yeah, it was eye rolling, but his explanation from it for it made me realize, oh, they're gonna try and basically rewrite what NFL did, and I think that's cool. I love Lil Wayne. I think they should do it.
Listen, man, The Rock apparently grew up listening to the Hot
I believe
Boys
I bel I
and
believe that. I believe it.
okay, okay,
He
alright,
didn't turn white till, like, 2015.
okay. He was a football player, yes, at some point he was a football player.
Yeah, like, he did
Um
I fully believe he did not turn into a white man until 2015.
um, so he comes out, he stands in the ring, and everyone's cheering him, and he's a face. He giving the little goosebumps, he's doing all that other stuff, people are excited, people are like, "Oh my god, The Rock's back, finally." Um,
Yeah,
and
finally, the
he
nigga was just there a month ago. Yeah, okay.
yeah, and he gives the announcement, he's like an overgrown, fueled by PR, muscly person, and he's like, "Listen, WrestleMania is coming back to New Orleans, baby," and everyone cheers. Oh my god, yeah! Oh my god, yes, finally. Um,
I gotta be there.
I would also actually like to be there.
New Orleans is on my bucket list.
I would like to be there actually myself. No cap. Um, however, uh, then it changes because I thought The Rock was just out there to announce WrestleMania, but then he starts calling people all types of trailer trash
Herpes,
and don't
syphilis.
sing with The Rock and all types of other shit like that.
Well,
And
and that there goes the first issue with that whole thing, and it's like we had recognized that The Rock's grandstanding, so to speak, at Netflix was for the investors. Like that
yes,
was what it was for. Like we understood that at the time. Like I was like, okay, this is for the investors,
yeah,
which
all
is
right.
one thing, right?
He's turning whatever. He's not even really going to be at WrestleMania, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. However, like I would not knock someone for being confused as to why his characterization changes every single time he's on TV. Like
It
it,
literally changed right before our eyes.
like
It
it
was
is
like
odd.
you just announced for the city that WrestleMania is coming, and then you said they all had herpes.
Yeah.
So yeah, very very confused.
Mind you, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, he threw up 3 fingers, cut his
And
throat, and walked
let,
away.
because people were upset when I brought up not only that this promo was bad, but like the direction of The Rock just in general has been terrible.
And the direction of The Rock
Every
is terrible because it's clear that no one is actually he's
yeah,
not listening to anyone's creative for him. He's doing
yeah,
this
yeah.
all on his own.
And none of his appearances outside of the road to WrestleMania last year have been integrated in any kind of natural or organic or authentic way. It's like he came back last year. I said the last four appearances, the night after WrestleMania, he puts on the belt. He says, "I like how this feels," and then gives it back to Cody. Meanwhile, the crowd is chanting, "This is awkward." Um, Shows up at Bad Blood, puts up three fingers. No one knows what it means until this day. Not a soul.
And the
Um,
3 fingers is like, Cody, Roman, why is Jimmy in this?
yeah, listen, it is what it is. Then Netflix, he shows up. He's a face. He's doing PR. He's
Well,
celebrating Roman on winning the Ula Fala,
I wouldn't even say he was a f yeah, you're right, I
drinking
forgot
liquor
about the
with Cody.
yeah, I forgot about the Ulafala part, yeah.
Yeah,
Ulafala part was crazy.
drinking liquor with, having fun with Cody. You know what I'm saying? So people who are making, you can make anything make sense if you fucking are delusional enough. But there is no thread between these last three appearances outside of like Cody, and now. Okay? No strong enough thread. There's a minor thread, and the thread is Cody. But realistically, there's no big thread through this. Anyway, The Rock comes out, daps up Cody, so he's a face again. um, and he talks about why he, asked Cody to be in this ring. And then the segment got incredibly. The Rock was probably my first goat as a kid. And this is a shame this is
Yes.
happening to all my goats.
Talk
This
about
is
it.
this is happening to all my goats, apparently. The man has not cut a good promo in God knows how long. this was the most scatterbrained, on like the way we got from point A to point Z to point X to point P to point L again. I was like, "Yo, where are you going with this?" And the whole segment, according to YouTube, 26 minutes long, uninterrupted. What were your thoughts on this promo?
The promo itself,
I was trying to look up for the transcript just so I can kind of like see this.
well,
This,
it well,
this.
here there can't be a transcript because it meandered for so long. It's like, how many followers you got on Instagram? I'll give you everything. Our
I
moms are
always wanted a
cool.
brother.
I always wanted a brother. Our moms are cool. Look at the picture. How do you have
Look
the
at the
picture
picture
queued
from
up?
my
The picture queued up was crazy. I was like, what is going
Rock
on
texted.
here?
Rock texted someone like Rock wants this picture of him in his like
It seems like The
it.
Rock is
It
creating
never feels.
stories,
Yeah,
and he's a busy guy. Listen, I understand he's a busy guy. You can't realistically sit down with all the scripts and all of
be in
the
a new movie.
appearances.
Yeah, new
Yeah,
movie. I don't know.
all the stuff he's gotta do. I don't expect you to from the wrestling shit to me is maybe 8th on the list of things that this motherfucker's gotta do every single day. So I don't expect him to create anything
Yeah,
sensical. Hand it off to someone that can.
yeah.
Hand it off to someone that can. Because here's the thing, you and Gerwerts can get as mad as you guys want to about last year. You're making it worse by doing things like this. He could have just stayed away. So the general gist of it is that he looks at Cody and says, "I want to give you the world. I want to give you everything. I want to give
I want to.
you
Right.
followers. I want to give you money, fame, anything you ask for. I want to give this to you." It takes him about 30 minutes to actually get to this point. And did we even mention the NXT appearance he made that did not allude to
No,
this
we
at all
did.
either?
Yeah, we did. We did. Trust
Yeah,
me.
like
It was one of the worst 15-minute stalling aspects. Like I equated it to um like he's trying to stall for a Lauryn Hill concert, essentially.
yeah, it was the oddest thing I have ever
And I
seen.
equated this to someone including like peas and carrots and macaroni and cheese.
Yeah,
Because I
pretty
was like,
much.
why is this here?
And
Who thought this would be good?
I don't understand why people are misreading your tweet or were misreading your tweet and saying that you didn't understand. I'm like, is that the first thing that people like? I'm like, y'all don't even understand what tariffs are. So
But
I don't even know why y'all are trying to trying to say that people don't understand what this rock promo is. This is way less uh complicated than even tariffs are.
yeah,
Here's,
this is
here,
simple as hell. Like we know what's going on. I don't know if they needed to do this. I mean, Cody was already pretty over, but the fact they're going to do it, I guess, it keeps him busy for the next year. Hopefully,
yeah, I mean, and again, the general gist of this long as fuck promo is the last line of the promo, and that was he'll meet Cody in Toronto, which is this Saturday, and he doesn't want the title. He because Cody and the thing is, what was funny was that Cody actually does say things, but it does seem as though Cody was given kind of a strict. You're gonna say something here, and you're gonna say something here, and The
yeah,
Rock will
but
fill it
just
in.
make a lot of faces though. Like, make sure
Yeah,
you make.
like he basically said, "You want my title?"
I think
And
they're
Rock's
real
like,
faces because I think he was reading this promo and was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
and so he says, "I don't want the title, I want your soul." Grabs his face, and
Can I
then
can I
walks
can
away.
I can I give a real thing about that segment? He with that
Sure.
line, he said the quiet part out loud, which I absolutely hate. I don't think he needed to say "I want your soul" to someone immediately. Now, to me, that's some shit. Maybe I'm stepping out of range here. Maybe I'm stepping out of thing here. Stop me if I'm getting too crazy. I feel like there's some Diddy pep talk shit.
Hello? What?
I want your soul. It's something that someone crazy would say. Like, who says that? That can be like the underlaying layer, the subtext of it all. Like ultimately he wants his soul, he wants something, and you can build to that point and you can say that I want you to be my champion, and you could leave it like that. Ultimately, you can understand more that he wants more than the championship from all the things that he's he's promising and he's showing and all these other things like that. It is like this seems like more of a relationship than just me being your champion. And then you can reveal it later. But I feel like he said the loud part so soon then I'm like, I left that part, and I think a majority of the people left that part like, "Huh?"
So you feel like you should have said the soul thing later.
Yeah, or soul thing later, or just like leave it in a little bit in the subtext for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like the subtext of whatever you're trying to think. I don't think the "I want your soul" thing. It doesn't seem rock. I don't know why anyone would say it off rip in the first promo. Um, I don't know why anyone would surrender their soul.
Or what the soul even is. Like what
Yeah,
what I guess the idea seems to be that like he
I
wants
get the
Cody to be his
idea, but
court
the execution, yeah.
he wants Cody to be his corporate champion, right? That is the idea. Cody the corporate champion, and we're going into Elimination Chamber with that kind of top of mind. And there was a comment from Meltzer that said that he felt like this diminished Cody. And I'm like, if anything, he's been glazing Cody for 2 months at this point. So I don't think
Yeah.
anything about this actually diminishes Cody. I don't like, what do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think maybe if this was Roman, it might have. But
Oh yeah, Roman, it would make him look like crazy because like
yeah,
Rock, and to be honest, like Rock hasn't even looked Roman's way in like months or even mentioned him. So like that would look crazy and weird. But with Cody, it makes him look like okay, he is the kind of the centerpiece, and he, this is what they want to do. But what does this lead into for Elimination Chamber? And that now we're starting to see the story build out for this show before Cody's WrestleMania journey at this point.
absolutely. But yeah, this was strange. But
It was not even strange. It was fucking terrible. It is a
yeah,
it's a terrible promo, ill timed in all ways, shapes, and forms. And I didn't like it either. I feel you on that. I didn't like it either.
quick hits from the show before we get in our pay-per-view things from
Yep.
SmackDown and thing this week. Um, Jimmy Uso beats Drew McIntyre. This is probably the biggest Jimmy Uso singles win of his life.
Mhm.
Um,
Bad momentum going into the show.
absolutely. Um, Tiffany Stratton, in my opinion, I don't know what she's very hot cold with these promos, bro. She just is. It's either good or very not good.
But you know what it is, and I think this is a testament to this is really a testament to how much Tiffany has these people. I would argue that her promos don't fucking matter because she's so over. Like they don't turn on her during the promos either. So like they like it's a rare occurrence where like this shit doesn't matter. And I know she's gonna have to step it up, and it's going to hurt one day. But like right now, Mills, I just don't think that it's that big of a deal to a lot of people.
I agree. It to an extent. Street Profits showed back up and they beat up all the remaining teams.
They beat up the white people.
Yeah,
Let's just be clear.
it just because. Um, but they're seemingly trying to plant their feet back in the tag division. Main event, Damian Priest gets a big win over Solo. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's keep Damian Priest strong. How about that?
Most protected nigga on the face of the earth, bruh. Most protected nigga. Who is more protected than him? Who but him?
Rhea, probably. But
Oh, Cody, maybe. No?
let's see. And KO and Sammy. What are your thoughts on the KO and Sammy segments over the last week?
KO shit was scary, wasn't it? I was scared. They're pulling. Does this main event? I don't. I hate to go ahead, but like, does this main event the show? It feels like it has to.
I don't think it will, but it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty fire.
There's a world I think where this main events, and I think that that's a good idea. Um, I don't know, and I think again, these 2 are just so good at it. They're so good at what they do, and they always, like, make this type of shit work that, like, I'm along for the ride with this. I'm not even trying to do too much thoughts and shit like that. I'm along for the ride because they always fucking do their thing when it comes time for them to face off against each other, so
On Raw, we had Lyra defend her title against Dakota Kai. Gunther beats up Akira Tozawa in pretty entertainment segment. Entertaining segment. Um, let's see.
and what he did to Akira felt racial, bro. You wanna talk about Last day of Black History Month, bruh. That felt
Yeah.
racial.
Seth Rollins and Cody. That was an interesting segment. I like the little, when things make sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the storylines get brought up and shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it is. Judgment Day continues to have their problems, but they get a big win at the end of the show this week. So it's pretty cool.
What a fantastic main event. And kudos to all the women involved. Like they went they went nutso on that fucking in that main event. I loved it. Like it showed again, not only does, is Liv, like we said earlier, she's a freaking star, but also Bianca, people don't like to even bring this up. Like she has truly kind of built herself out as one of the best in-ring performers in the WWE in terms of not even just the women but the men as well. Like she can do it all. I don't even know what to compare her to, but I know this would be like really I don't really know if people agree. Like she reminds me of just like the women version of like Kurt Angle, like in terms of just athleticism and what she's able to do in that ring and bring to it. Like she does stuff that you just don't think is fucking possible, and she was able to do that. She did every spot in the ring. You just look at where she is at each spot. She's never
Yeah.
missing. She's never missing a line. She's never missing a spot. She's always all over there. And we've been waiting for Bianca to kind of go back to being a singles for a while, and I think that she's had the tag titles for such a long time. She's been in that mix for such a long time. It's time for her to move on from this. And I know a lot of people won't be very upset about her losing it. It does fit like after it was over, it was like, damn, this really does feel like the end of like kind of a important era for Bianca because she got the level of competition and the amount of women that she worked with in this time. I don't think she's ever worked with this amount of women before ever.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is something that the top stars don't really get. Rhea worked with the same woman for just 8 months.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there aren't a lot of versatility with these programs, and I think she got a great opportunity to help build and thrive and had competitive matches against a ton of different people that she would normally never face. Like Charlotte will never. I mean, at this point, will never face Isla Dawn or Alba Fire, maybe possibly.
Yeah.
Um, but Bianca did. Bianca's pretty much faced the entire division over the last number of months. We didn't really get any real headway with the Jade stuff. Apparently, Liv and Raquel didn't do it. So,
Yeah, and they didn't do it, so they won. It seems to be the lesson the show taught me this week.
well, it is what it is. And Ludwig Kaiser gets a win. Penta
Yeah.
takes his first L, and Ludwig Kaiser
He
gets a
didn't
win.
get he
And
didn't get pinned. That
he
was
didn't
that
get
was on
pinned,
him.
but he took. I guess he didn't win. You know what I'm saying? He didn't
Yeah, he
lose,
didn't
but
win.
he didn't win. You know what I'm saying? So,
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. I thought it was a really good Raw. These Raws just like move for
yeah,
me. Like
it's
they
it's much better. No filler, no nothing. Everything is pretty cool. Even had a nice little Bailey Roxanne segment. So that was pretty cool.
yeah.
Um, Elimination Chamber. Where we at with it?
4 matches and a segment have been announced, so I guess the segment will take up the time of a match. I don't know what to expect from it. I know we just went long form on the Rock stuff. I'm gonna be real. I don't
I'm
know what to
expecting it to
expect.
be long. I'm
Yeah.
expecting it to be long. So uh we'll see how it goes.
So let's start off with Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. It's a tag team match. It seems like kind of the least stakes amountable for this.
Yeah.
Um, do we feel like Tiffany does get her solo win over Nia soon or later or ever
Didn't she
at
beat
this
her
point?
already? She ain't beat her yet.
No.
Oh.
That match
Um
2 weeks ago was the first time she had tried to go for the title since she got it stolen from her.
right. Um yeah, I think possibly the SmackDown after, but I think Tiffany and Trish of course pick up the win here. Um and get through this pretty quickly, but it Tiffany should get her win back, but this is all about making Tiffany strong on the road to Charlotte.
Yep.
Not even Mania, just Charlotte.
She needs it.
Um,
Pray for her.
yeah, very much so. But yeah,
And then we have Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, a match that I feel like is going to main event. I just you just don't do all this build up and don't have the shit main event. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's a good match for the people there for Canada. I guess. The I think I'm looking forward to this match a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Do
These
do we
two,
get do we get blood? Is my question.
I don't know. Maybe, but I'm more they're more story driven than like brutality.
Yeah.
But um so I don't know if we'll get blood, but this is just I expect this to be a match of the year candidate. Like this is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Like
I fucking
I'm
can't
really
wait.
looking forward to this match. Like really looking forward to this match. I don't know who wins though. That's kind of really the problem where I'm at.
Yeah, because you can't I think Sammy's gonna lose. I'm calling
Yeah,
Sammy
it
to
looks
lose
like it.
this. I'm
Kevin
calling
Kevin has lost a lot. So
Yeah, Sammy's downhill slide kinda continues here, and I could see this being totally a moment where Sammy's gotta rethink things, and I honestly I feel you. You said this last week, I wasn't really thinking of it this way. Sammy, Sammy and Karrion Kross seems to be the way. The only way that I could see this not main eventing is if there's not a surprise at the end. And I feel like the surprise at the end would have to be Randy Orton, right? Like it would have to be KO winning and then Randy Orton coming out to get his revenge, leading to Randy Orton versus KO at WrestleMania. Like that to me seems like the most logical outcome here with Sammy kind of going against Karrion. I know people will not be particularly excited about that, but at the end of the day, it makes a lot more sense than going into what's going on here because every top match is kind of booked up and I said a couple weeks ago I'm not mad if they're not on the card because they've been fixtures on the WrestleMania card for the past 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row. I think honestly that seems to be the most logical outcome since all the other matches are taken up. But you got to give other guys a chance to kind of be on top and kind of see their way through, especially with you guys getting like main event one year, then you guys get marquee matches the next year. Like it's just the way the shit goes. So I definitely see Kevin Owens winning this. However, coming out of it, what will happen? Will there be like run-ins? Will Karrion come out? Will fucking Randy Orton come out? I really do feel like Orton is due for his return this weekend. So I don't know. Feels like Kevin Owens to me. It's feeling Kevin Owens. He's got to start rebuilding things, rebuilding himself, and it just makes the most sense for him to face off against Randy going into WrestleMania. So I think it
yeah,
might be.
I think it'll be KO too. Yeah.
Let's start with the women's. This is where the conversation starts here, right? The women's elimination chamber match: Liv Morgan versus Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss versus Bailey versus Naomi versus Roxanne Perez. There are storylines coming out of this match. Let's just be completely clear here. All of your Mania storylines will be coming out of this very match right here. You have Liv Morgan who just won the tag titles, which in my opinion, Meelz disqualifies her from winning it, but does it? But does it disqualify her from winning
I
this?
don't know. I don't know. Um I don't know. I honestly don't know who's winning this match. I mean,
I
I
think
could do
I
process
think
of elimination.
I think Roxanne gets her first Mania against Bailey with this match, and I
Sure,
think that's what we're leading to. And I think Roxanne will be working double duty WrestleMania weekend.
if
I
she's
think she'll
still on
be.
NXT. She hasn't shown up on NXT yet. We can just look if she shows up tonight.
I
But
think I think she'll do the rematch against Julia, and then I think that she will then go on to face Bailey at WrestleMania and probably beat Bailey.
um so I'm eliminating Roxanne and Bailey off top.
Okay.
I'm gonna eliminate Alexa Bliss as well. I don't know why. Don't know why. But I'm eliminating Alexa Bliss.
Okay. I'll
Just
eliminate Alexa Bliss. Uh,
I'm
Naomi and
eliminating
Bianca.
Naomi just because Naomi hasn't. It
Wait,
just
but with Naomi and B, right? That shit's crazy because what if we find out the Jade's I like there's a lot of stuff going down that could
I'm
like
taking Jade out of the they if they wanted to tell us, they would have told us by now, I feel like.
yeah, true. That is
Like, I
true.
feel like they're saving it. I don't think they want it to be a part of I don't know. I mean, maybe Jade shows up in Toronto. I don't know, but it's just it just is what it is. It's between Liv and B for me. Um, I would like it to be Bianca Belair, but I could see if they would do Liv Morgan again, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it's Liv. I think it's Liv, bro.
People will not be happy if it's Liv, bro.
Fuck them. At the end of the day, like who gives a shit? It is categorically the biggest women's program in the company. Like, there's no rivalry that has gone longer than this thus far, save for like Becky showing up tomorrow and just punching Tiffany in the face, and then her and Charlotte doing it. But there has been nothing that has been bigger than this, and I think that to have it end at Mania, it seems like the most kind of like Triple H thing for it to happen. Now, if they do have Liv win here and it's just a regular ass match at Mania, I think that's a mistake. I think it should definitely be a stip or something like that. It should definitely be a fun match because we've seen them wrestle in a regular match before. There should be a stip for sure. That's never been done. Maybe like last woman standing or something like that. Like it has to be something that makes it final for these two. Because like we thought it was over, but the way they're pushing Liv, she looks very strong going into this, and I would not be shocked if she doesn't if she doesn't win this elimination chamber. I know it's not gonna be popular, but people know like I honestly didn't mind Liv and Rhea, so like them running it back is fine. They have great they can have great chemistry together when the creative makes sense. And I'll be looking forward to seeing it again. Men's elimination chamber match. We have John Cena versus CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre versus Logan Paul versus Damian Priest versus Seth freaking Rollins. It's got to be Cena, but in the weeks leading to this, what is
Yeah,
going to happen
I'm
to?
it's a clear Cena for me. Yeah.
I feel like they are packing this show out with stars. Rock showing up made me think more that Roman's coming and that Roman's going to be there. Like Rock being there makes me think that Roman will show up, and I think Roman will fuck over Seth or fuck over Punk or some semblance of the two, leading to that triple threat match. I
I could see it. I could see it.
like I think that you get that storyline set up there, and I think it ends up being maybe Cena versus Logan Paul at the end. Maybe those are the final two. I don't know. Because Priest and Drew kind of cancel each other out. We've been seeing and hearing that Drew and Priest is the direction for a while, so I think they set that up here. But I think that Logan Paul being the last person standing, and the way they've been naturally pushing him is kind of being the bridesmaid, never the bride, and then him losing against Cena makes the most sense to me. Because I mean, the big money match here, sorry to say, it's not Punk this year versus Cody. It's not Seth versus Cody. It's not Logan versus Cody. It's Cena versus Cody this year, and I think it makes the most sense to do that. However, now with the Rock specter looming over it, you have a big time Hollywood storyline with Cena, with Cody, with Rock all involved in this. And maybe Rock, I don't know, makes himself a special guest enforcer for that match. Like there's a lot of things you could do here to make this more exciting. And I
Yeah,
think
for sure.
Cena makes it the most exciting that we could have out of this match.
I agree. Like it just I'm looking forward to this just based off the competitors involved and see the matchups and all this other stuff like that. But it's to me, it's clear John Cena comes out the victory with this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, 100%. So I don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen here. I think the most controversial ending would definitely be Liv Morgan over Bianca here. So I think people should prepare themselves for that reality. I don't think they're doing Bianca and Rhea this year. It just does not seem like they're even leading to that in any direction whatsoever. So it's gonna be a good show. I know people are gonna say WWE is over after all the shit's over with, but I think it's gonna be a good show, and I think that the matches that I think are gonna happen they're going to be a pretty they're going to lead to a pretty interesting WrestleMania to say the least, especially with them having to follow up 40 so big. So, with that said, thank you guys for listening. We will be back with you guys next week as we have a more clear picture of what the road to WrestleMania looks like, and we'll be talking about all the matches that are going to lead into that. We're going to be talking about SmackDown, of course, as well as the post Elimination Chamber Raw and everything that has to do with that in between. So, for Meelz, I am Justin. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next week. We're in the most exciting point of our show every single year as a WrestleMania appears. So make sure that you're tuning in to us every single week. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon because we're going to have so much stuff to talk about over the next couple of weeks. So thank you guys for listening. For Meelz, I'm Justin. See you guys next week. Peace.